Furthermore, public acceptance of the police under a democratic setting is not influenced exclusively by the number of crimes that are solved, but by the manner such are attained. Since no police force ever succeeds by alienating its citizens, we are firmly resolved that under my watch, policing will be citizen-centered, rules-driven, and accountability-guided. Towards this end, a comprehensive reform, both in terms of ethics, mode of operations, and orientation, function delineation, command and control, weaponry, and accountability mechanism will be undertaken in the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. This is with a view to giving full, clear, measurable, and accountable intervention to the presidential directives on reform and reorientation of the unit as recently handed down to the force leadership.
Good day, viewers. Welcome to Parlor Talk. And today on Parlor Talk, we'll be talking about the EndSARS movement and the protests that is seeking either reform of the SARS or total outright ban of the SARS unit of the Nigerian police force. I've titled this video as Why SARS Must Go, because I'm of the opinion that the reform is not enough, and I'll look at some of the events that have happened in the past, talking about the SARS movement that surrounding SARS vis-a-vis what we're seeing now, while talking about reform may not necessarily be the way to go, or may not necessarily achieve the aim and objectives of Nigerians regarding the SARS and Nigerian police force at large. There's no need to go into the details or a lot of examples are out there on a daily basis of many Nigerians that have been assaulted, being abused, extorted, and some even being killed in ordinary course of their
The proposed reorganization will produce a new special anti-robbery unit, which will be professional enough to protect the citizens in their line of duty, but uniquely potent enough to respond to any major weapon-related organized crimes in the swiftest and most ethical manner.
Disturbing is the fact that
while this initiative is being perfected,
in this same space before,
the operation of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad,
maybe it hasn't got
which is currently centralized at the Force Headquarters, is hereby
on the
decentralized.
Of a protest regarding and to just get straight into
consequently, with immediate effect, the commissioners of police in each of the 36 police commands and the Federal Capital Territory are to assume full command and control authority on all Special Anti-Robbery Squad in their commands.
Similar events.
Consequently, they are to immediately undertake a detailed evaluation of the unit in their commands and submit a report to my office within the next 2 weeks. Similarly, all quasi-investigation and operation units, including Special Investigation Panel, Special Tactical Squad, or any other such teams under whatever name are hereby disbanded.
Those details. In 2018, the Vice President Yomi Osinbajo instructed the police that the units that is to emerge from SARS, in order to curb the excesses, must be intelligence driven, which means it must be further of investigation that has been done by the Nigerian police before SARS are on the street. And we know that that's never the case. You see them on the street every day, harassing people, telling people to open their phone, even forcing people to make transfer. I tweeted yesterday when I heard someone say that now they even go as far as demanding Bitcoin. I don't know if that's excessive or if that was what's happening, but it's to explain on a scale of how emboldened the unit is in their extortion and extrajudicial functions. So, and also then when he asked that SARS be reformed and be intelligence driven, he said that the National Human Rights Commission of Nigeria to set up a special panel to conduct investigation into the unlawful activities of SARS and afford the members of the public to hear their grievances. So when he talked tough in 2018 and people heard this, a lot of people had confidence. A lot of people had a bit of confidence in what he said, that if the steps or the announcement or the instructions he gave then were to followed, then probably we'll see a change in the operation of SARS. And sequel to that, in 2019, January 2019, when the new IGP was appointed, when he took over from Ibrahim Idris, the new IG, Mohammed Adamu, when he was appointed, he disbanded SARS. He didn't actually ban SARS, because many of us like to think that SARS was banned. And they were not actually banned.
Oh, the video you
no now. And in his address on the 21st of January 2019, which some of the videos I'll put them on the screen shortly, he said that SARS should be decentralized.
Stop waiting. No wahala now.
Carry
which SB?
SARS
which one be video myself? Let me know. You won't carry my phone. Oh, you know so wait one. Where is this search warrant?
Personally,
which one be? I'm looking for a search warrant. See which one be search warrant again.
Activities of the members of SARS.
No wahala now.
The evaluation of the unit is to be
done by the state command. The SB where you put for
them should know or should be able to vouch to an extent or professionally to the competence of the members of the SARS in its unit. So, but follow suit in the same address he had on the 21st. He said that the Special Tactical Unit and Special Investigation Unit are to be no more. So, and when he said this, there was a lot of, as you can see in the video, there was a lot of ovation from people or from members of the police force saying it was a welcome development. And I think that kind of reposed the confidence of the Nigerians at then that, well, things are going to be different. But that was January 2019. There was meant to be a panel or set up by the Nigerian police to look into the excesses of SARS operatives and to produce or lay down a standard protocol of how they should operate. But that still hasn't happened. Where towards the end of 2020, until this recent incident and in Ughelli happened, we've heard little or nothing has been done about it. So, based on that, I'm of the opinion that SARS is there's nothing to reform about SARS. I've seen the 10-point agenda post out by the PRO of the force, Frank Mba, and it's just another lip service that they do all the time as to what to expect. And a lot of things that were talked about in the 10 points position on FSARS and all that, it's quite a re-echo or echo of what has been said before many times over. So there's no point beating a dead horse. And yeah, let's not kid ourselves. You can't do without having a vibrant police force in any sane society. And for the few law-abiding and professional police officers we have, kudos to them. We know it's in the service of the nation, and a lot of them put their lives on the line every day. But that being said, when you're meant to serve and protect people, and you happen to be the reason why
people fear.
Because today, a lot of Nigerians still fear the SARS even more than they fear armed robbers that they meant to be protecting you against. And even the unassuming tactical or unassuming gears they wear in perceived furtherance of their functions, it makes it hard to differentiate between a SARS operative and even an armed robber if you see one sometimes. So all this 10 points agenda on what you done, it's just a re-echo of the things that have been said before. So we'll be in this same situation again where we're talking about exactly the same thing, maybe in a year or 2 years time when these silly things happen again. And it's just an endless cycle of madness. While I still don't get it. Maybe in the northern parts of Nigeria, and I don't think we have this many cases of extrajudicial killing by operatives of SARS and extortion of operatives of SARS in northern Nigeria. So if there are many cases that I don't know, maybe someone should put it in the comment below, where, because I've heard the case of that they help with banditry, kidnapping, and the likes of it. But what seems to connect more to people are the things, the extrajudicial things they do in a bid to line their own pockets. Extortion, bribery, random killings. That's worrisome. So if we have a police unit, a police force that has a unit that continue to assault Nigerians and terrorize Nigerians unabated, and all we talk about is reform, what's that going to do? I don't think that's going to do anything. So why do we need to have it? Why not the police just restructure itself? The robbery, kidnapping that it faces in its in furtherance of its duties and functions, let them come up with another strategy on how to deal with them, but not this body that's continued to terrorize Nigerians endlessly. And we come around, talk about the same thing over and over again. SARS will probably go on the low for a couple of months, and they're back again on the street terrorizing Nigerians, as we've had the case in 2018 and 2019. So based on that, I am firmly of the opinion that this EndSARS movement is the right course of action, and it's not about reforming SARS, it's about scrapping. I understand that in 2017 it was said that SARS cannot be scrapped, because I'm reading the tweet of Loretta Onoche, special aide to Buhari on social media. As you people might know, she had this back and forth with Wizkid on the other day, or still on this case of SARS, and she paraphrasing what she said, whenever we set an unachievable goal, we get the same answer. Target should be on holding police severely punishing errant offenders. That's how to reform EndSARS. We cannot stop using water because someone drowned. Why I say that, where I might want to agree with what she said to an extent, going by Loretta Onocha's premise that we cannot stop using water because someone drowned, while that premise might be valid, in this case it doesn't really apply, because the counter premise will be doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, is the definition of madness. We cannot keep saying that SARS should be reformed. I believe this whole protest about EndSARS carries a lot of weight beyond the banning of SARS alone. Yeah, it's a catchy title and it's a good way to start, but I think it packs in a lot of things that a lot of Nigerians have been struggling with for many years, and maybe partly because of apathy, or without actually having a springboard to actually start venting their anger or their frustration about the way things are done in the country. It hasn't really taken off. And also, maybe because of the strategy of divide and conquer that we've seen with this administration, hasn't really made this work. for Nigerians to be able to vet their anger. And I've always said it, when the Revolution Now movement was going to start, or was going to happen last year, I said it, that the reason why that Revolution Now movement was going to fail was there wasn't, while a lot of people think things have to change in the country, there wasn't any starting point. There wasn't, the Revolution Now movement or the conveners didn't have any springboard or what needs to change or what needs to happen. So that's why this EndSARS movement it's a valid springboard for things to start changing. And the ineptitude of this government is alarming. And I think the president of Nigeria, no offense, has put this country on autopilot since the start of this second dispensation, and Nigeria is seriously lacking in leadership. I know that some people probably attack me on my position on this, but this is entirely my opinion, that this administration has demonstrated lack of leadership in all quarters. This second term of President Muhammadu Buhari, it's a shame that a country like ours, when things like this happen, when you need your leaders to actually stand up and be counted and show that they'll lead from the front, like it was promised when they were seeking office, that leadership doesn't come. All we get are tweets here and there or Facebook posts here and there condemning things with a kind of casual, as casual as possible, when these are things that could potentially snowball into a bigger problem for the country if not addressed effectively and urgently. Another concern I have about this whole thing is I think as a country, the police has been left to regulate itself for far too long. I don't know how we got into this situation. I guess it is because it serves whatever government is in power. Because when we've got these situations going on and on and on for many years, the police bribery has been on and it is not hidden. Everyone knows it for as long as I could remember. But at the end of the day, there hasn't really been any independent or standalone panel or body that looks into the affairs of the police and just say, okay, well, this is what we need to do to change this organization, to improve this organization. We know that having a police force, it's a necessity. We can't change that. There's no alternative to it, I should say. Maybe at best we'll break it down, which will be a conversation for another day, where every state has its own police force or police command, as you might want to call it. But be that as it may, you still need law enforcement agencies to help protect and serve the interest of the people of your country. So while we know that's a necessary, I don't understand why it hasn't really been a matter of priority for an administration like this to actually make sure that this organization is an embodiment of professionalism and protection of interest of average Nigerians. So it's become an avenue where people are get assaulted because of their look or because of how they address the police and all whatnot. So I believe the matter has reached a crescendo, and that's why we are where we are today. Credit to all celebrities who started or joined carrying on the initiative. It's been overwhelming seeing the protest, and I think what we've had that's been close to this was the Occupy Nigeria movement of 2012. So, and I strongly believe that this protest would be a catalyst or could be a catalyst for a lot of things to change beyond SARS, beyond the Nigerian police, and to have a positive and progressive direction that the country sorely needs. Well, shout out to Jide Kola, who's images I've used in this video, and some other people that I may not be able to mention their names, whose video and images I've used to put this together. I'll try as much as possible to keep you updated if something comes up, or if there's something to react to with regard to this development. But one key thing I want to mention is we should try as much as possible to make sure that this protest is not hijacked for selfish gains of some individuals. I think the cause is noble, and I think we should stay noble, and it should be a platform to yearn for changes